Hi, this is Suszek, and this is Faith Talk. I'm trying this again. I had a bunch of problems with the last one. I'm going to try this, see if it works better, and delete the other one. I already uploaded it. Okay, this one's called Faith is Mechanical, and I hope I don't get interrupted. I forgot to do something. Okay. I had so many problems with the last one. Faith is mechanical. Okay, let's see if I can make all my right points. Okay, I really like hearing the faith is mechanical. Curry Blake talks about it, and Gary Cassie talks about faith works like electricity. It is truly a law of the universe. It's the God made. It is a law like gravity and electricity and all those things. So, and the fact that sometimes it's not working doesn't mean that God isn't willing for it to fail, any more than when you go to get your car worked on and find out that the mechanic is stumped. Well, it's like when we go for prayer, and sometimes praying over somebody works and sometimes it doesn't, and we don't know where the short is in the prayer. But it's not God's will that anyone not get healed. It's just there's something, because it's spiritual laws, we're not quite sure how to understand how it works, but I know that it's working. I've had many successes. I had one problem in my life with bed sores, and I used to have bladder infections. Not anymore. I stopped believing in infections, praise God. I mean, these things take time and basically practice to see success. So once you start believing that you don't want to get sick anymore, you don't have to, doesn't mean it's not going to keep happening at times, but you gotta work those faith muscles and get better at resisting. To prove my point about faith being mechanical, I wanted to talk about the lady with the issue of blood. It was all her faith. Jesus didn't even know she was there. She decided within herself, it says in the Bible, that if I could just touch his clothing, I'll be healed. And that's what we have to do, is decide within ourselves. And some people say decide the day, time. I'm not going to argue with that, but faith is, healing is for now, every day. Today is the day, right now. But like I said in my other video about faith making sense, it seems to be, for me, when something makes sense to me, then I'm believing. And I'm like, not sure how to get there for everything. I know that I have difficulty believing that anything is going to work. It's not my on-purpose choice. I do believe that I'm supposed to be healed, that I will be healed, and I'm pursuing it daily with God's help. So I've had many successes, and I'm not bothered by any diseases, infections, sicknesses of any kind, praise God. But we've been through some things until we got to where we were seeing more success. So the lady with the issue of blood, she did successfully see her healing by touching Jesus, but it gave the reason that she was able to decide by faith that this was going to be how it was going to happen, because it's available. And then there's today, you can look it up on YouTube, Delia Knox, Knox. She was healed of paralysis. And the story goes that she was tired of being prayed over, which I don't blame her, and she's a pastor's wife. She was in a wheelchair, spinal cord injury, and she was prayed over. I don't know. I'm going to say that she was behind somebody that was being prayed over. There was a healing ministry going on at their church, and this baby needed prayer, and she was praying close enough to hear what was going on and praying for this baby being healed of cancer or something. And her compassion rose up, and I think it started to heal her, and somebody noticed something was happening with her. Started writing her. She was feeling her legs, and you can see it on camera. She gets up and starts walking, and she is walking today. So I know that it works. But she was waiting 24 years, not for God. God wanted her to be healed immediately. But the confusion lies with us as far as, well, how does faith work? So I know that it says compassion, that faith works through love, and I know that at times Jesus was filled with compassion before he prayed over someone. And I know what that feels like, and I have compassion for people, and sometimes it still doesn't seem to work. But I also know that people can sometimes have a hard time receiving if they don't feel like they deserve it, or they think they're supposed to die, things like that. And not everybody will admit the problem. So faith being mechanical, again, if you bring your car to a mechanic and he can't figure it out, just for example, our van was having issues, and it's like bringing it to get healed by a prayer, somebody praying over it. Looking into what's wrong physically is so similar to bringing yourself to someone to get prayer, and they do. They pray over you the way they know how. They've seen success before. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and I really believe that the laws of faith, just there's something missing in this particular instance that doesn't happen sometimes. So it's not because the maker of my vehicle doesn't want it fixed, and it's not because God doesn't want you well. He does. He wants us to know the laws of faith. He wants us to know, and everybody can do it. I mean, the Christian walk involves miracles and supernatural faith and constant living in divine healing. And there's examples in scriptures. You just have to look for them. I mean, I continually love to focus on the fact that in the book of Acts, that's in Acts 28, where Paul, picked up a snake attached itself to his arm, and he just flung it off. It was a miracle. They started to worship him. They knew it was supernatural. And then, the way that we're supposed to be operating in faith after they knew they were supposed to be in the book of Acts. So even Stephen, who was also gave up the ghost because he was being stoned, he decided to go home and be with the Lord. He didn't have to go home to be with the Lord. He didn't have to at that time. He had done many things, and just like Paul decided, should I stay or should I go? He had been through many things that could have killed him, but didn't. Well, Stephen, in the book of Acts, chapter 6, it says he did many miracles. Well, he was being just tormented by persecution, and the Pharisees and the law. I mean, the Pharisees and the leaders were envious of him. Not much has changed today. When you're successful, people are envious, and they purposely tried to stir up lies and false testimony against him, just the way it's happening with our president today. I mean, That's how I feel. And this kind of just, I relate to, man, God has flown through him, even though he's, just a rough stone and diamond in the rough, basically. So I'm going to end with just those examples. Delia Knox, something went right with that, and she finally got healed. This is, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe more. I was very encouraged by that, but at the same time, we're still learning about these laws of faith, and just keep practicing. And it says in the Bible too that count it all joy when you encounter various trials. Something happens to you that requires say, hey, this is another opportunity for me to see my faith work and exercise my faith muscles. And this is gonna go as fast as it came in the name of Jesus. So don't be discouraged when things come upon you. Just use your faith, and it's the more you practice, the faster it'll happen. In Jesus' name. Thanks for listening.